my name is Jonas. I've done quite a lot of these like we're back in the 90s videos now, and it's fun to start to see some chains emerge. For example, the genre that we're looking at today, speed garage, has been influenced directly by jungle and house, which I did videos about, which has been directly influenced by rave, which I also did a video about, which has been directly influenced by Belgian new beat of the late 80s, which I also did a video about. So if you're interested in those, go check them out. But as I already said, today we're going to talk about speed garage. So first, the name speed, we'll be getting to that. Garage, where does this name come from? Well, just as house was named after the warehouse club in Chicago, garage is named after the Paradise Garage Club in New York. In the early 90s, the name garage crossed the Atlantic Ocean and they started using it in the London club scene. Influenced a lot by tracks by, for example, the US producer Todd Edwards, a scene grew that was being called UK Garage. This is how garage ended up in the UK. So now speed, well, jungle, which was invented in the UK more or less, was a very popular genre in the early to mid 90s. They were doing parties where you would have a jungle room and a garage room, and of course somewhere these styles meet in the middle and you start to get garage tracks that are being sped up a little bit with big sub bass, some break beats in there, the Ragga vocals from jungle, for example, dub sirens, and at a certain point some people start to call this speed garage. The first speed garage tracks that kind of emerged from the underground were actually two remixes by Armand van Helden. You have CJ Bolland's Sugar is Sweeter, the Armand van Helden remix, which indeed has already quite a few of these typical speed garage elements. And then you have the track Spin Spin Sugar by the Sneaker Pimps. The Armand van Helden remix is a very typical speed garage track from the time with the jungle sub bass, the time stretched vocals, and even the dub sirens. For me personally though, the most typical speed garage track of the 90s would be Double 99 Rip Groove. It has all the elements of a typical speed garage track, the sub bass, the break beats, the Ragga vocals, time stretched, the dub siren, it's all there, and it's still a pretty great track, I think. There were quite a few speed garage tracks hitting the charts, especially in the UK from the mid to late 90s, but at a certain point the genre evolved into new subgenres and merged back in the general house scene. Although it never really left, you can still, until this day, find these typical speed garage elements in house tracks. So that's enough history for today. Now let's try to make a speed garage track ourselves, like we're back in the 90s. Let's start with creating a TR-909 house beat. As you can hear, I use quite a bit of shuffle. You really want to make this stuff groove. And you might also have noticed that the kick itself is quite weak. Well, it's quite short and not too low. And that's for a specific reason. We're going to add quite a lot of sub bass later on. And just as when mixing jungle and drum and bass, you don't want to have the kick and bass fight in the low end. You could try this, of course, there are no rules in making music, but for me in general, I think it works better if you just make a choice. It's going to be the bass or it's going to be the kick. Don't make them fight too much. So that's why the kick isn't that strong on itself, but combined with the bass, it's going to work out fine. The next element of the groove are going to be the breakbeats. Because I already sampled a few of those when I was doing the jungle video, I can basically reuse them. They're already chopped up. I'm going to use the aim and break and the tank break again. The aim and break I'm basically going to use as a percussion instrument, very short pieces only. The tank break is going to be used a little bit more traditionally. Let's listen how it's going to be added to the beats. First, the aim and break. And next, the think break. And now let's add the beats on top of that. To finish off the beats, I employed a classic house trick, and that is to resample the TR-909 beat and then play it again, pitched lower, with a lot of compression on it, and then mixing it back together with the original. It's a classic house trick to make your beats pump a little bit more, make them a bit more dirty and gritty. Let's listen to the compressed and down-pitched signal first. Time for the bass. What I could have done is use the classic jungle trick of using the S1000 sine test wave and make a big fat sub bass out of that. I already did that in the video about jungle, but what I'm actually going to do is use the trusty Yamaha TX81Z. It can do some great bass, and actually I think it was used to make Double 99's track Rip Groove. At least I could create a patch that sounds almost exactly like Rip Groove. Check it out. If they actually use the TX81Z in Rip Groove, I don't know, but this sound at least sounds almost exactly the same. Let's use it in our track like this. Let's add some more bass. I'm not going to layer it with the TX81Z, that would be way too much, but I can use it in another part of the track, and it gives me an opportunity to use the Reese bass. I already kind of mentioned it in the jungle video I did, but I didn't really use it in the track. The Reese bass is sampled from the track Reese, One More Chance, which is done by Kevin Saunderson of Inner City. In the late 80s, it was created, the bass sound at least that you hear in the beginning of the track was created on a Casio CZ5000 apparently. I don't have that at hand, but it's not needed. Everyone sampled that first few seconds of the track, and it was used in drum and bass jungle quite a lot, but maybe even more in speed garage. It's a very famous sound for that. So let's listen what that sounds like. Let's put that in the track. Now we have this solid foundation. Let's add the details. First, a few elements to create tension, which is needed to build up these tracks. The first thing I did was use an Alpha Juno flute patch to play a quite dissonant chord, and I resampled that and I basically loop it to use it in the track. Let's first listen to the original source. And the way it's used in the track is this. A similar roll is for a sound I got from the Yamaha FB01, which I added a little bit distortion on top of to make it sound more interesting. It plays this high melody on top of the track to also create some tension in the build-up. And you could already hear the next element at the end there, what I'm going to call dub siren, which was used by the Jamaican DJs in the dance halls to hype up the audience more or less, playing all these alarms in between the tracks or on top of them. And it's one of those things that was sampled a lot for drum and bass jungle records and ended up in speed garage as well. I could simply sample it from somewhere, which was usually done, but in this case I created it myself on the Korg MS-20. It's a very simple analog sound actually. You basically need a square wave and modulate the pitch with a square wave LFO, and then you get this sound. Let's listen how I did that. Let's not forget to add another element, the Ragga vocals. They were used a lot in jungle drum and bass and also ended up in speed garage, just as the dub sirens and the breakbeats and the sub basses. I'm going to use a sample from the Hustlers Convention, a live recording from a London event, and the Ragga Muffins had a performance there. In between the music, it's a lot of talking and it's just a goldmine to sample. I'm not the first one to sample this, by the way. You probably will recognize some parts of it, but it simply fits too well with these 90s speed garage sounds to not use it. I used this part.
Enough respect to all the massive, enough respect to all the massive, then the New York massive, then London massive, Canadian massive, anywhere you want to come from.
And this part.
Combat boy.
And to really finish it off, we're going to use this Combat Boy part and time stretch the hell out of it using the Akai S1000.
Combat boy. Combat boy. Combat boy.
And with some reverb and delay applied to it. If that doesn't bring you back to the 90s speed garage sound, nothing will, I guess. And that's actually everything we need. Like I always say, less is more, and we have more than enough elements to build a track now. Speed garage is maybe one of the first dance styles where the concept of building tension, going into a break and then dropping the bass, the sub bass, is really important. It's actually what it's all about. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with a beat quite empty, then introduce the tension elements one by one, go to a break, use the vocals, the time stretch vocal, use the beats and the breakbeat samples to make a kind of drum roll, and then we drop the bass. And we can repeat that structure and get a bit creative with it. That's actually everything that is needed. It's not rocket science, it's dance floor music. Just make sure that it works, keep the audience interested, and drop that bass. Well, that's more than enough talking. Let's listen to the final result.
Now hear this. Combat respect to all the massive. Enough respect to all the massive. Then the New York massive, then London massive, Canadian massive, anywhere you want to come from.
And that's it again for today. If you want more like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to be notified as soon as a new video goes online, click the bell button. Bye bye.